Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Aaron, Lorraine, Peter, and the rest of you. When someone who is so young and so full of life and so special to us passes away, it really shakes us to our very foundation. We are forced by life itself to agree to walk together on a path that we did not choose to walk, but it's a path that we must walk together. We instinctively turn to family members and friends. We mourn, we cry together, we hug each other, we speak words of consolation and sympathy, but there are other times we simply stand or sit in silence because our words seem so inadequate. But we also take time to gather together. We gather together not so much to wrap ourselves in tradition or custom or ceremony, but we gather together literally to celebrate and to remember a life. We share stories, we speak words of tribute, and we honor our loved one in a very unique and special way as we say goodbye. My name is Marty Pageant, and it's my honor to lead this celebration of life for Darren. And it's our hope that this will not only be a time when we collectively, as a community, say goodbye, but also a time that we do celebrate and commemorate and honor Darren's life. I am reminded of the words that the ancients wrote when they said that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He saves those who are crushed in spirit. God is our refuge, our strength, a very present help in trouble. This is a celebration of life service. The family has made it very clear that this was not only their wish, but this would have been what Darren would have wanted as well. So what is a celebration of life service? What does it look like? What does it accomplish? And as we begin, I would like to just suggest a couple things for us to keep in mind as we enter into the service. Number one, a celebration of life service acknowledges that every life is a gift, which leads to the natural desire to express gratitude and not just grief. Grief is a natural result of such a tragedy, but gratitude is actually a choice we can make. We can choose to be thankful. We can choose gratitude even in the face of sadness and sorrow. Gratitude can be chosen as we acknowledge that Darren's life was a gift to his family, was a gift to those of his co-workers, and it was a gift to all who knew him and whose lives were touched and enhanced and enriched by having known him. It's also a celebration of life that affirms the uniqueness of every individual and identifies the virtuous values that they embraced in their life and lived out day by day. And so today we remember the good and the great things that made Darren who he was. We affirm the positive character qualities that marked his life: honesty and integrity and dedication and commitment and hard work and fascination with nature and so many more attributes that made him such a wonderful man. And we may even pause to realign our own priorities, to live out one or many of these qualities as we honor Darren in the days and weeks and months to come. A celebration of life, thirdly, allows we who are left behind to express the full range of human emotions, and it grants us permission to openly express those emotions without apology or explanation. You see, our humanness includes a wide variety of human emotions, doesn't it? Joy and sorrow, peace and worry, love and fear. And in this service, we will collectively grant ourselves permission to publicly express those emotions with freedom and openness. Would you agree? We allow ourselves that because it's part of who we are as humans. And through the words that are spoken and the music which is played, we will feel those emotions, and we may be tempted to suppress them and to restrain ourselves from expressing them. But may I just remind all of us that this building, this time, is a very safe place. It's a place of grace and freedom. It's a place of authenticity without judgment, where we can be ourselves and express our feelings. And finally, a celebration of life aligns us together and opens our hearts to receive expressions of comfort and support and express and perspective and love from our community. Death brings separation, which in turn brings sorrow and grief and sadness of us being here, because our physical presence speaks volumes to the family, does it not? And I'm going to invite the first two to come. First of all, Darren's wife, Erin, and then Darren's neighbor, Todd, is going to come and share some words of tribute. And so, Erin, please.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for taking the time to be here with us today to honor Darren. I've spent the last week trying to figure out what it is I wanted to say up here today, but I wasn't able to figure out just how to express, just what I could express that would do Darren's memory and his life justice. Of course, he was my husband, my soulmate, and my best friend. But as I've spent so much time in the last 10 days reading messages from friends and being enveloped in a never-ending sea of hugs and love from those near and far, I'm starting to fully see just how much he meant to each and every person who knew him. And that has been the truly humbling part of the aftermath of his accident. You see, I fell in love with Darren when I was just 20 years old. He swept me off my feet from the first time I laid eyes on him, and there was something about his gentle, playful spirit that made it easy to love him, to trust him, and to believe that he would always be here to comfort and to guide me in the right direction. When our son Leo was born less than 3 years ago, I was so blessed to get to see an entirely new side of Darren. He thrived as a father, and today my biggest regret is that our son won't grow up learning firsthand what a fantastic man Darren really was. Eating an entire tub of chocolate peanut butter Haagen-Dazs ice cream before bed, as he did most evenings. In closing, I'd like to thank those of you who contributed to Darren's happiness throughout his life. There are many of you here today who worked with him, some on Mackinac Island, where we met, some at System Fencing, and more recently here at HFH. Thank you for watching out for him on the job and giving him the confidence to believe that he could build a happy, successful life here in Canada with me. To my family and friends who welcomed Darren and adopted him as one of your own, thank you for supporting not only Darren, but me as well. And to his family, Lorraine, Peter, Michelle, Tracy, Barney, and everybody back home in Australia, thank you for raising up such a clever, funny, and caring man, and for supporting his dreams of moving here to start a new life and a family with me. He was truly happy here, and though his life was tragically cut short, his legacy will live on in all of us, and we shall remain connected forever because of him. Thank you.
G'day. My name's Todd. Next door neighbour, Darren and Erin. Got to say a big thank you to the turnout here today. He'd be truly humbled by this, but it's very indicative of the kind of bloke he was and the impact that he had on everyone. So thanks for coming out. As the opening speech was, it is a celebration of his life. There was this building here, you know, how much joy it was in his day to come in. The fact that he helped build this place, there was so much pride in it. The craftsman in him that was taken on the new skills as a carpenter. I mean, if you've ever seen any of the blacksmith work that he does, I mean, he has that innate sense of perfection and artistry. And he was in a really happy place. He was in a really, really happy place. I have written stuff down here. I don't know how close I'm going to stick to it. Look, if you only ever met one Aussie in your life, then Darren was the epitome of what we call a top bloke. He look you in the eye, he'd shake your hand, and he was as loyal as that handshake. You know? That was Darren. Now, where I live, or where we live, we don't have, one of the things I love about it is that we don't have fences. We have a big scrubby little block of land in between Darren and Aaron's place, and we share a neighbour, Barry, who's here somewhere. I don't know why we never called you Bazza. I think the Australians, we're probably the most generous people with the letters there ever. Not just one, but you've got to put like two in there, you know. So Bazza, wherever you are, I'm sure you're here. He told me one day that another Aussie had bought the place next door, and I was stoked. I honestly was to hear another friendly accent from home and the music. Don't know how Barry felt about the music, but I enjoyed it. So yeah, sure enough, one day I looked down through this little scrubby block of land, and there's the shade of blue there, and Darren's, he's already hung his Aussie flag in the back window. So I gave him a hoy, and that was the first day I met Aaron and Darren, and there's that handshake, and from that handshake, I knew I had a mate for life, you know. He's that sort of bloke. So I need to tell you, and you know, when I'm talking about, we say this is going to be a celebration, it's like, I have cried more over the last week than I can remember. I need to take a break, I need to have a laugh, and that's what I hope today will be about. Let's share some stories. I mean, look how many faces are here, and every single one of you will have a Darren story, and I want to hear it, you know, because there'll be some absolute crackers, I'm sure. All right, so let's talk about two Aussie blokes in Canada. As I say, there's no fences where we live. Behind us, we've got about 4 acres worth of green space and woodlands and stuff like that. And that little scrappy piece of land, I've always, Darren and I were talking about putting some bush steps in there so that Leo can just come scooting through the back of our joint and up into the woods, and he and Sierra will go run amok and get into all the trouble that Darren and I probably did when we were kids. So I'm looking at those kids now, and I'm seeing the inventiveness of them and the rest of it, and I don't know what they're going to get up to, but I'm thinking maybe a zip line. Like just seriously from out there down to your joint. I might have to take you for a test ride just to make sure it's safe. Alright, so two blokes in Australia, two Aussie boys in Canada. Now we don't live in the bush, you know, we're just outside of town, so there's one sunny day, and we're both in our yards. I'm out mowing the lawn, Darren, I don't know what he was doing down in his backyard, but I turned the mower off, and there's a couple standing at the end of my driveway there, and they said to me, "Have you seen a horse?" That's not usual. That's not usual at all. So I'm like, no, I haven't seen a horse. But Darren, the horseman, of course, his ears prick up, and he's like, but actually no, it's not even that, it's just like, anything's better than doing garden work, you know, down tools, let's go and do something a bit more fun than that. So he wanders up, and we're talking to this lady, and she's saying that she looked out her kitchen window, and there's a horse in her backyard just grazing. That's not usual. So by the time she got her husband and actually got outside, the horse had disappeared, so they went looking for it, and that's when we met them. So off we go to find this horse, and Darren cuts left up through the park. He's looking for tracks. I just went straight up the middle because I don't know much about horses, so I just went straight up the top of it. And we come together at the top there, and there's this couple, and we're talking, where's this horse gone? And so to our right, there's a house, and next to it there's a cornfield, and there's a mowed kind of laneway that goes down in between it. And this bloke comes up there, and he's an older fella, and he kind of legs up. He says, "Oh, where's the horse?" So, all right, you found the horse. So we follow him down this laneway, and sure enough, we get down the back, and there's this big old shade tree, and there's the horse. It's a bit laddered up, but it seems to be all right. And now, I don't know how many of you know Darren through horses, whether it's through work or through music or whatever, but I never saw Darren with a horse this once. And he had that horse's attention from the moment that he latched eyes on it. And this horse is ears are forward and it's very, very aware of who Darren is and what's going on. So Darren does his thing, and this horse has got like a little broken, frayed piece of rope around his neck. And this old bloke there, he's trying to tie these two frayed pieces of rope together. Now there are a few clues here that we probably should have taken notice of. One or two. So Darren's in the horse, mate, and he's looking at this, and we can't understand a lot of what this guy's saying. I think he's a Newfoundlander or something like that. I don't know, but we couldn't understand a lot of what he was saying. But Darren's like walked up, and there's this coil of rope, and the guy's standing on top of it, and he's concerned. He's gone, mate, I'm a farrier. I work with horses. I do it for a living. And he said, where you are right now, you're in a really dangerous position, and I'm concerned about that. So he pulls out his trusty pocket knife, and he grabs some of this rope, and he's going to cut it. And this old bloke's saying, no, not cut rope. So, well, mate, I'm going to. So he does it, and just like that, you know, he fashions this like rope halter out, and he's got this horse, and he's about to lead away. And the one thing that we really understood that this guy said all that time was, oh no, I don't want you to shod. And Darren, his face is priceless, right? He's got him with his horse, he's about to lead it away. I don't know where he was leading it to, but I think you've got a pretty good idea. He's probably coming to your joint. But he's like, this is your horse. Oh, hey! It's like, alrighty then, I'll just tie that rope back together for you and we'll be on our way. And so we're walking back up this laneway, and I was saying, Darren, did you understand a word he said? And Darren's like, nah, the rope and that last bit, that was it. Alright. But then as we're walking away, I'm thinking that we need to actually let's look at this from this guy's perspective. Alright. I didn't find this part of the story out until much later, when I spoke to the neighbour, but apparently there's this Mennonite man who lives in the barn with his horse year-round, and he has done for like 10, 15 years. And this is just out the back of my place. I had no idea that this was happening. So this is his horse, and as we walk away, you look around, it's like, if you look around behind the Mennonite man, that rope that he was standing on is actually tied to the tree. There's a clue. There's a lot of hoof marks all around underneath this tree. There's another clue. Well, we didn't pick up on that. We were the rescue rangers. We're going down here and find this horse. But we're walking back up and I'm thinking, this poor old bloke, he lives in the barn with his horse and his horse gets away. So the horse leaves, the horse comes back. And then these two blokes who speak in a language that he probably can't understand either, we speak in a funny accent, come and want to put new shoes on. It was a very strange day, but that's the bloke Darren was too. He'd drop anything to get out of garden work, but also to help animals or to help a mate. And I reckon he'd be very humbled by the turnout here today. And as I said earlier, I want to hear the stories because I'm sure there are a lot of them. And I miss the man. Thank you.
Todd, very much for those words. Darren's story began back on August the 13th, 1970, born to Lorraine and Peter in Labor, Melbourne, Australia, one of two children. In many ways, he was a typical boy growing up, except that he had no fear of anything. He would ride anything with two wheels. He was always busy, always mischievous, getting into trouble, and skipping school. Lorraine told me the story that she would often drop him off at school, but he never quite made it through the doors. She would drive away and he would go off riding with his buddies. He left school at age 14 and started working with his father as a farrier, shoeing horses. And he learned the trade of blacksmithing and eventually went on to complete his farrier apprenticeship, becoming one of the first graduates of that program at Melbourne Polytechnic School in 1999. Through a friend, he was introduced to the Grand Hotel in Michigan and spent the summer of 2002 driving carriage there. And it was there that he met Darren, and of course you heard their story. After some time apart, they reconnected and their friendship blossomed into love, and they were married on July the 1st, 2013 on Mackinac Island. And we'll always remember their wedding anniversary because of all the fireworks, obviously, on July the 1st. As you know, the family was blessed with a son, Leo, about 2.5 years ago, the love of their lives. Darren's life included playing guitar and bass in a band, being outdoors and motorcycling. He had an extraordinary love for animals, and he also enjoyed military history, as you can see here at the front. In 2014, he and Darren adopted the hobby of commemorating the efforts of the Australian Light Horse and the Canadian Cavalry in the Great War through the Canadian Great War Society. And so they would attend festivals with horses and parades as well. Darren was hardworking. He worked at MCG in Melbourne for a time. He was very adventurous, would always be open to new things, and when he came to Canada, he'd never heard of ice fishing before, and so he thought, yeah, sure, why not? And it was always something new, something adventurous that would pique his interest. He was very funny, but he had a very, very dry sense of humor, and so some people got it and other people didn't. And those people really enjoyed that. But he was also a man who certainly told it like it was. Darren enjoyed some very extraordinary close friendships, and they really, really meant a lot to him. He was a loving and loyal husband and father, and he'll certainly be missed by all who knew him. The story of Darren's life ended when he passed away suddenly and tragically on Wednesday, March the 28th of this year. He was just 42 years of age. Survived by his dear wife Erin, his son Leo, his parents Lorraine and Peter, his sister Tracy along with Vic, nephew and niece Joshua and Madison, his mother and father-in-law Kathy and Vance, his sister-in-law Amber along with Jeff, his nephew Wiley, along with countless other aunts and uncles and cousins and lifelong friends. And it's good for us just to remind everyone that in lieu of flowers, a trust fund has been set up for Aaron and Leo, and contributions may be made at any CIBC branch. And for more information, just chat with those that are here from the funeral home. At this time, we'll continue the words of tribute. There are two from HFH that are here to share some words of tribute. Brian first, and then Ralph, and then Mom Lorraine is going to come with some final words. Once Lorraine is done, we're going to watch a slideshow. I'm exactly sure now. It's right over here. Sorry, I didn't see that when I came in. Maybe a slideshow and some photos. And so Brian, Ralph, Lorraine, and then the slideshow, please.
Good afternoon. As was stated, my name is Brian. I'm the general manager for HFH. I'd like to officially just share condolences to the family. We've lost a good man. My name is Darren, and I won't say it right, it's Suszcynski, something like that. And I'm interested in working for HFH in any position suitable to my previous experience, whether that be as a carpenter, laborer, and any other position at your discretion. Kind of got my attention when that resume crossed my desk. We get lots of resumes. Don't look at them all very closely. This one caught my attention, and that's who Darren was for us. He came, he did whatever we asked him to do. He was proud to do it, and did it with 110%. Sometimes as a company you take a chance and you gamble, and this one was a chance very well taken, and it turned out very well for us. We could open up for stories from employees, and you'd hear all kinds of stories of his humor. You'd hear stories of him sharing clothing with a new employee that needed some winter clothing. You'd hear stories of him being at the shop early every day. He'd be parked out here waiting for the door to open to get in to get to work. And really a great employee for us. I'd like to look real quickly at a slide. We do employee evaluations every year. Our employees that are here will know this. This is the top part of our evaluation. We score them from 1 to 5. If you get a 1, you're probably not working here anymore. 3 is an average. 5s don't happen all that often. I just had to show you this. Across the top, he's got a 5 for professionalism everywhere, with a pleasure to work with comment. Cooperation, he has a 5, gets along with everyone. Integrity, he had all 5s, but he was always upbeat. There's just, I don't think we have another evaluation like that in the filing cabinet. I didn't go through them all to check. He was just that kind of man, and became very valuable to us here, just for his willingness to start in. He didn't know what he was doing when he started, but he was willing to do it. And he referred to his handshake and just the honest, integrated man that he was. We really, really appreciated him here at HFH, and are going to miss him dearly. We have a presentation we'd like to make. One of our employees, and I believe his wife was involved with the idea. And so if we could just have them come and bring that out at this point. It's been something I never dreamt as a company we'd be going through. We haven't even had our open house yet for this building. But it's a great honor to be able to do this for Darren and to have you all here and be able to share in his memory and tell the stories like his neighbor said. Looking forward to just spending that time today. So again, this was employees who put this together and wanted to do this. There's signatures all around there. Aaron, this is yours to do with as you please. And he will never be forgotten here at HFH. He has left his mark for sure. So I think pretty much everybody signed it. If they haven't yet, they will by the end of today. And we'll touch base to see where you want that to. You might put that somewhere. Just one other quick thing. You'll notice a piece of timber strapped to the wall in the back. I think it's strapped. I think you guys are safe down there. That is a pergola that is going to be outside our office. It's probably covered in snow, but you see that the interlocking stone is laid down for it. It's going to sit there as a showpiece for people driving by, but also a place for us to go, and there'll be a picnic table underneath it. We do have this is an architect rendition of kind of how that corner is going to look once it's complete. That is what Darren was working on. That's his last project. We're proud to, as a company, we're going to dedicate this to Darren. At some point this spring, we'll put a plaque on that. We'll make sure you know about that, Aaron. You can be a part of that and your family that's here. And as a company, you have an invitation to come to that at any time. You, your family, whoever comes, sit under that and spend some time there. And we will have something on this dedicated to Darren in his memory for what he's meant to us as a company. Again, thank you all for coming. It's kind of a weird feeling. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to open up the building for Darren's sake. But I really wish we could be doing this under different circumstances and he could be here with us celebrating. But thank you all for coming.
hard to follow something like that. Thank you, Brian. I know this is a celebration. And I really like what you said, Tom. Like, that was such a good story. Thank you for sharing that. We know everybody who met Darren for a little bit more than just only maybe work with them for a couple of hours or so would know that handshake, and I'm lucky enough that I got 2 hugs from him. I love the man. I think I've been thinking about it ever since. Like, why was he so special to me? We all make friends through life. We work with a lot of people. And what Darren did doesn't take away from anybody else. But there was something special about Darren. And I found myself very blessed that I got to see 3 sides of Darren. I'm not saying it's all 3 sides, but it's 3 big sides of Darren. He had the fun side. Almost everybody got to see that pretty much right away. He always could turn any situation into something funny, something weird, something just that you couldn't help but laugh. We had a lot of fun together. We worked together. Like Brian said, my most special times with him were when I get here at 6:45 to open up the building and turn off the alarms, and I come in the gate and I see the gates unlocked and I see his headlights and he's waiting. I'm not saying he was waiting just for me. He loved being here, but those 15 minutes before his work started were very special because he wasn't on the clock. So I did my thing and he just walked with me and talked about whatever happened with the band the night before, whatever Leo did, whatever did. Those 15 minutes were very special. Well, my hands are too sweaty to unlock my phone. Here we go. One very funny thing I thought I would share you, we talked about the fun side, is I spent a night with Darren in a hotel. And we worked a couple hours away. And he asked me pretty good going in there, but the funniest thing he said to me is like, "Ralph, I feel sorry for you, because just like my wife, after tonight, you'll know what it feels like when old age creeps up on you." And I've thought about that so many times. That was Darren. Then I got to see his work site. In the first week, I think, or after the second day, I told Brian, I think we got a good one. Like, the very first time I met him, he was in the trusses here, above the people that are standing in the back. We didn't know he had no experience. They just asked him, "Can you go give the guy a hand?" And up he went. Afterwards, I heard how scared he was. But that speaks something about this man that just did what he was asked. He didn't make any excuses ever. He just did it. What I really appreciated about working with him, we built quite a few of these sheds together. I do some more of the service work, so like small jobs, and when there was, especially before we were finishing this building, every time when I needed a second person to go with me, I'd ask for Darren. Even when he wasn't good at it, he would do his very best. And I liked that so much that sure, it didn't always go as fast as he even himself hoped it would go, or as good, but he did his very best. I loved working with him. He was always worried about safety. He always tried to make sure that everything went safe. And that kind of rolls into his caring side. I think that's the third side that I saw him in. And I know that I'm, like, especially from the workers, maybe one of the fewer that saw that side of him as much. He was like a brother to me in a strange country. I came here 11 years ago. Darren came here 10 years ago, 11 years ago. We both have family far away. We both have a wife that is more from this area. We both had a connection somehow there. Darren cared a lot more than what you could see when you just heard his first joke. What stands out to me is a memory that stands out to me is one time we were building one of these sheds in the old place where we used to be. And my wife came to visit us for lunch because it was a PA day and the kids were at home. So she baked something. She knew Darren and I were working together. So she baked something that we could have for lunch. And she came with the kids. And Darren spent this whole 30 minutes teaching our kids how to balance on a beam. There was a 6x6 laying on the ground. And my daughter jumped on it right away because she thinks she's a ballerina. And he said, I'll show you how to do it. And he didn't eat his dessert, he never got to his lunch. And kept saying, Darren, just eat your lunch, it's fine, the kids will be fine. Like, no, he loved doing that. I was talking with him during work about things that we like to do and how nice it is to have kids. So you can take your kids with you, so people that drive by or see you think you do it for the kids. And Darren says, for me that's flying kites. And I was like, you fly kites? I have a bunch of kites from Holland. And that is one really good memory when we both got to go out together with our families and our kids and flew kites in the park. He cared a lot. He talked very, very positive about Aaron and Leo. Always cared about them. Always worried about them. I love that about him. When I look back, the only thing I wish is that I would have told him more, that I would have cared more, that I would have texted him more often, that I would have helped him more at his house, that I would have had invited him over more, and that I could have done more for him. And overall, I wish I had talked with him more. I thought I had time. It's like all of us. We were looking into this year, into the future, plans that we had together, rides we were going to go on, things we were going to build in his backyard. And his dreams never ended, and we just thought we had time. I thought we had time. It's a lesson to me. That out of this is don't hold back when I cannot hold back when you want to talk, when you want to share, when you want to care, because you never know when it's going to be done. Over. Life is short. I want to thank you, family, very much for allowing us, HFH, me, to be such a big part of this. I'm surprised and I'm so thankful because it's such a big part for us to work through this as well. And I thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. Darren worked our ways into our hearts and we'll never get out of there. I hope that you can see that we love them. We believe that our faith should be shown by our love. And if anything, you can see that we love him, we love you guys. And not just thoughts and prayers, but it's a love that does things. It's a love that works. Aaron will be here for you. We will finish that basement for you. We don't know what we will do. But thank you for letting us be a part of your lives now. And for your Australian family, she's not alone. Your grandson's not alone. We'll do our best to tell them who his daddy was and share these stories with him and care for them. Thank you very much.
You are a sunbeam, and you will shine forever. Forever in our hearts now that you're gone. You are a sunbeam and you will shine wherever your soul decides to roam. I wish you could have stayed a little longer and shone more of your sunlight in our lives. But having known you, I can feel a little stronger, remembering the sunshine in your eyes. Sunbeam, you are gone but not forgotten. You I'll carry with me every day. Think about the smile you smile so often, until I see you once again someday. You are a sunbeam and you will shine forever, You are a sunbeam, and you will shine wherever your soul decides to roam. Could have stayed a little longer and shone more of your sunlight in our lives. Having known you, I can feel a little stronger, remembering the sunshine in your eyes. Sunbeam, you are gone but not forgotten, and you I'll carry with me every day. And think about the smile you smiled so often, until I see you once again someday. Sunbeam, you are gone but not forgotten. You I'll carry with me every day. And think about the smile you smiled so often, until I see you once again someday. You are a sunbeam, and you will shine forever. Forever in my heart now that you're gone. You are a sunbeam, and you will shine wherever your soul decides to roam. Could have stayed a little longer and shone more of your sunlight in our lives. Having known you, I can feel a little stronger, remembering the sunshine in your eyes. Sunbeam, you are gone but not forgotten, and you I'll carry with me every day. And think about the smile you smiled so often, until I see you once again someday.
Many things I wanted to say about Darren's childhood. I think most importantly, Peter and I taught both Tracy and her brother Darren to always remember your manners. Please, thank you, and show respect. From what I've witnessed over the last week since we came to say goodbye, I see the respect that all of you, all of Canada, that everybody that Darren touched, the respect that you have shown him is just overwhelming. I know now that there will be a piece of our son that everybody will be able to share, to sit. I hope you do. Please come, have a picnic. Sit under there, remember Darren, get the boys to tell you the stories. Love him, share the funny stories. To the boys in his band, thank you. I know you're going to play a song for us. He loved his music as much as he loved his motorbikes. I know I can speak for Tracy, Dad, his dad Peter, all of his uncles, aunties. I'm from a family of 9 children, so you can imagine he's got lots of uncles, aunties, cousins. The amount of years Darren spent shoeing horses with his dad, there would be hundreds upon hundreds of customers back home in Australia that are feeling exactly as you all are here now. So we will take some of Darren home with us, and we will share these memories and let everybody know just how loved he was in Canada as much as he is back home in Australia. To the beautiful people that have been bringing food to the house, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much from the whole family. My final words, Darren hasn't gone anywhere. He's off on his next adventure. He's riding around up there somewhere saying, Jesus, Mum, look what they've done. He will never be gone. One look at that gorgeous little Leo in there, he is his dad to a T, right down to the spiky hair. That's our son. He lives on in Leo. Please continue to support Darren and Leo. That's all I ask. Thank you. Oh, sorry, thanks, Wee. HFH, what can I say? Absolutely amazing for someone that only knew him for such a short time, 10 months, while I doubt anyone, even back home in Australia, as much as they loved Darren and knew what he was, this is absolutely amazing. We will make the trip back to Canada, and we will come back here, we will bring family and friends, and we'll sit out there and have a picnic, and I hope that all of the HFH staff are still here. To Brian, John again, thank you for bringing... There he is. Drove out to the airport to pick Peter up in that rotten snowstorm. Thank you very much. Brian, everything you've done for us. Ralph, mate, what can I say? We knew about you. Darren spoke to us. We had the pleasure of I would ring him every Sunday night and talk to him. Tracy would always have FaceTime on her phone. We knew all about you. You were special. He loved you. He loved you. Toddy, mate. Where's Toddy? There he is. I don't have to say too many words. You know. No. Beautiful. Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. I believe there's some other Aussies too. Rick, Richard, Dean. If I've forgotten, please forgive me, but yeah, they know how deep down love and respect goes back home in Oz, and I can see it here in Canada, so I think I've remembered everybody. No? All right. Again, just remember our boy. I'm proud. I am a very, very proud mum. Thank you.
Yeah. Is he actually telling a joke in the horse? I also want to express deep gratitude to HFH and all of their outpouring of love and support. I look at that pergola piece at the back, and I don't know about you, but I am just amazed at that. Are you not? Like, isn't that amazing? I was in kindergarten and I struggled with, you know, the popsicle stick and glue? Like, I could never do that. And I'm looking at this piece that this man put together, and I'm just in absolute awe. And again, what a wonderful tribute, a way to honor his life. Well, I think there are several ways that we can continue to remember and celebrate Darren. I just want to mention a couple of them, and then we're going to Dan come and conclude the service with a song. Number one, I think we can celebrate Darren through the memories that we shared with him. And memories are something that we can take with us, aren't they? And some of you have very precious and intimate and personal memories that you shared with Darren. You're going to hold those very close to your heart because they are personal. You're not going to share them. Others of you are going to speak freely of experiences and conversations, times that were shared together. We're all different. We all grieve differently. We all process these things differently. I would encourage you to find whatever fits your personality and your style and do that. And I think we're going to honor Darren through the memories that were shared with him. I think we also celebrate Darren through the expressions of gratitude that we share with each other. It's extraordinary how, as I mentioned at the beginning of the service, gratitude is a choice. It's something we choose. It's not dependent upon the circumstances in which we find ourselves. It's something that we actually will, and it's something that we actually determine in our own lives that we are going to do, to live a life of thankfulness and gratitude. I appreciated so much Ralph's words, excuse me, when he mentioned that he wished that there were times that we could spend more time together, send more texts, and what a wonderful reminder for us, and what a wonderful encouragement for us to take that up, to take it seriously, and to recalibrate our lives so that we don't have to look back and say, you know what, I wish I would have. And one of those things is gratitude, by expressing gratitude to those around us, by expressing gratitude for all of the things we enjoy. It was Leslie Gerber who put it this way: yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why it's called the present. And I love that quotation because it reminds us that today is obviously the present, it's the now that we live in, but it's also our present, right? It's a gift that's been given to us. And with all gifts, we use them, we enjoy them, we share them, we celebrate them, but at the end of the day, we're grateful for them. So I hope that gratitude will be part of the way we celebrate and honor Darren's life as we move forward. And the last thing I simply wrote down is that we celebrate Darren's life by living out the very, very best qualities that he lived in his life. And again, Aaron brought attention to that. Smile more, be more loving, express the virtues and the character qualities that made Darren who he was, and we honor him as we move forward. And so I know that all of us, as we do step forward, will remember the good and the great things that made Darren who he was, and we'll live those out as a way to share and honor his memory as we move forward. You can shed tears that he is gone, or you can smile because he lived. You can close your eyes and pray that he will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that he has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see him, or it can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember him and only that he's gone, or you can cherish his memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty, and turn your back. Or you can do what he would want. Smile, open your eyes, love one another, and go on. At this time, I'd like to invite Level Crossing to come, and they have a song that they're going to play. It's going to be a loud song, just to give you the heads up. And some of you are going, awesome. Others of you are maybe not so, but you know what? It is music, and we enjoy it. So Level Crossing, please.
Not sure where's Old Song, it's loud song. I don't know, Darren came into the room, I guess he worked with Wayne, and it's the same chief all experience with him. Man, I've known this guy for 50 years. You know, that's just the kind of guy he was. And so we're going to play it original. He really liked playing those. That was thought me sound like a real band.
It's going to be a little loud.
So we'll do that.
Apologize.
Hey, He's an easy guy to like, and it's impossible to forget.
So again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the family for being here. I also want to express, on behalf of the family and everyone, appreciation to HFH for all of their hospitality, opening up their facility, providing the refreshments and food, creating the urn as well, and just doing so many wonderful things. What a tribute to this great Canadian company. It's just, to me, it's quite extraordinary. And I think it'd be appropriate for us to express appreciation to them at this time. So join me. So this does conclude the celebration of life for Darren this afternoon. Thank you so much for coming. As I mentioned, there are refreshments, there's food and coffee and juice and refreshments up at the front. We invite you to come at this time, and please feel free to stay as long as you wish and to continue to engage in conversations and sharing things. Thank you so much.